SB 1071. I see the sponsors here too.
Mr. Chair and members, Senate Bill 1071 repeals the establishing and all related statutes for the Arizona Rangers. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Members, any questions? Seeing none, I see the sponsor. Please come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Senator Mark Fincham, LD1, which serves Yavapai County for the most part. We brought this bill to correct a longstanding situation with the Arizona Rangers, and much has been made about this, that the Rangers will go away and they'll be destroyed. That nothing could be further from the truth. The fact of the matter is the Arizona Rangers are a 501c3 service organization. What this does is eliminates Title 41 protection, which ultimately means they become accountable and transparent, which they are not currently. I have it on good authority that multiple law enforcement organizations have asked for training records, firearms qualification records, and even though they were told that they would be forthcoming, they were never delivered. Begs the question, why? Well, that speaks to accountability and transparency. And quite frankly, I know that there are a lot of communities that rely on the Rangers for different functions that are non-law enforcement. But at the same time, if you're going to wear a badge, and you're going to have a patch, and you're going to have a tactical vest, and you're going to be armed, an expectation is created by the community that you are going to be accountable. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Members, any questions? Seeing none,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
thank you, Senator. Mr. Vice Chair, do we have anybody signed in?
Yes, we do. We have Robert Sherry and Robert. If you're here, come on up. Then on deck would be Jason Dewey. Please state your name for the record. You'll have 2 minutes.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, my name is Major Robert Shirey. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I serve as the Community Relations Officer for the Arizona Rangers, and I'm also a member of the Board of Directors. I've been a Ranger for the past 12 years, and I respectfully oppose Senate Bill 1071 as written. Instead of discussing policy, I'd like to ask you to think about the people behind the uniform. Arizona Rangers choose to serve. We choose to stand for long hours at public events. We choose to respond to disasters, emergencies, and tense situations, often wearing a uniform that makes us a visible target. We do this without pay. Every Ranger personally spends thousands of dollars on uniforms, equipment, training, travel, and time away from our families and our jobs. We serve because our communities need us. Between 2020 and 2026, Arizona Rangers donated more than 160,000 volunteer hours and drove nearly 5 million miles across Arizona. That's 199 and a half times around the earth, supporting rural towns, tribal communities, flood zones, and underserved areas where uniform presence brings both safety and reassurance. As Community Relations Officer, I listen. I hear from residents, business owners, and law enforcement partners. What I hear consistency is this: the Arizona Rangers build trust. At events during emergencies, we're often the first uniformed people approach. Our presence helps calm situations and strengthens communities' confidence, especially when staffing is limited. We are committed. We are accountable. We are deeply invested in the communities that we serve. SB 1071 risks undermining the trust by redefining the Rangers in a way that does not reflect how communities experience us or how we operate alongside law enforcement. It sends a message that decades of volunteer service can be dismissed without full consideration of the human and community impact. We welcome oversight and accountability. What we ask for is fairness and accuracy. For nearly 70 years, the Arizona Rangers have stood alongside communities, not for compensation, but because someone needs us to be there. I respectfully ask you to oppose SB 1071 as it's currently written. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, members. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Jason Dewey, and then Scott Harmier.
As soon as he resets that, you can start. And announce your name and whatnot, but wait until that number, there you go.
Of course. Mr. Chairman, ranking members, senators, my name is Jason Dewey. I appear before you as a private citizen in opposition of Bill 1071. Let me begin by saying that we've had excellent discussions with Senator Fincham, and we believe we have a way ahead, something that he himself suggested, which is in line with what we're talking about. He's wrong about one thing. If we abrogate 41, 4201 and other protections for the Rangers, the Rangers would go away. They'd be relegated to marching in bands and ceremoniously supporting the territorial Rangers. Also, there's an inaccuracy in your fact sheet. It says that there's a stipend, $650 per month for a Ranger that retires. If you look at the entirety of the statute, it says that's limited to Rangers that were founded in 1901, not the ones that were founded in 2004 like we are. So that's actually an inaccuracy. If we get rid of the Rangers, it's an anathema to most law enforcement agencies in the state of Arizona. It's my pleasure, like I said, to report that we've had meaningful discussions with senators, including Senator Fincham, and his idea falls in line with exactly with what we're talking about. And we're talking about oversight. It could happen to anybody. It happened to us at this time. Thank God we're here. Thank God we have an opportunity to address it. His suggestion was that instead of Arizona Post, at the CLEO of each county, which would be the sheriff, oversee, not add manpower to, and we're willing to pay for it, background investigations, oversee the firearms training. We have no problem with that. Indeed, we welcome that. As soon as he said that, we stopped at Arizona Post and said we welcome that solution. We wholly agree with that idea, and we agree with its implementation. So there's three ways ahead. Number one, pass the bill in its current form, send it to the floor. We have commitments that will be amended later. That abrogates the power of this committee because this committee is supposed to vet bills before going forward. Number two is to kill the bill entirely, or number three is to send it back to get amended and come back here. Either way, we oppose number one. We urge you to vote against moving this bill forward in its current form because it would remove the power of this committee. We do have suggestions by Senator Fincham that we're willing to implement, and we're willing to work with him and any senator in the way ahead. But Senator Shope, as you said, the two parties should get locked into a room together to come out with a solution. We have one.
Yeah.
We have one, and it's the author's idea, whom we support and respect, and I look forward to working with. And anyway, if you move this bill forward in its current form, promises made here doesn't equate to promises on the floor. We urge you to vote against it, and with that, I stand by for any questions that you may have.
Members, any questions? Seeing none.
Thank you. Indeed. God bless this board. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Scott Harmier. And following him will be William Ponce.
You have to use cheaters as you get older. Good afternoon, and thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak to this critical committee. My name is Scott Harmeyer, and I'm a retired assistant fire chief.
Hold on, please. Stop.
Yes.
You start the clock, please.
Okay. No?
Nope.
Now.
First, I'd like to thank the members of this committee for voting and passing along to the Senate floor AZHCR 2045 that was passed May 5th of 2025. This resolution was passed just a little over 7 months ago, honoring law enforcement, first responders, fire departments, and the Arizona Rangers. It states the following: whereas providing law enforcement assistance to federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, the Arizona Rangers were officially established in state statute in 2002. It again calls out the Arizona Rangers where it states, whereas Arizona Rangers, law enforcement officers, sheriffs, and other first responders are dedicated, unselfish, and honorable individuals who serve the state and its citizens and preserve the tradition, honor, ethics, and history of the state. Today, you're going to hear testimony for, but most importantly, against Senate Bill 1071. As a former assistant fire chief and the knowledge I have of the Arizona Rangers, this is an organization that works closely with many law enforcement agencies across the state of Arizona. This organization is firmly dedicated to serving the communities of this great state. The Arizona Rangers are a force multiplier when working with law enforcement agencies. They assist law enforcement agencies and are placed in positions that afford local police agencies to concentrate on other activities and allow them to respond to emergencies if needed. Some examples: they support the Scottsdale Police and traffic control during major events like the PGA tournament, supporting the Findlay Toyota Center and Prescott Valley Police when thousands of people are attending sports events, concerts, and community events. These are dedicated people who are serving this great state and saving the Arizona government and the Arizona cities, counties, and towns thousands of dollars each and every year. They're all volunteer. I have some more, but I don't have the time.
You're correct. You don't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for him as he walks away? Thank you. Next.
William Ponce, then David Rhodes.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board.
Start the clock. Thank you. State your name and have at it.
My name is William Ponce. I'm the Sheriff of La Paz County and the current Vice President of the Arizona Sheriff's Association. Let me first state that we are not in opposition of the Arizona Rangers. We support the Rangers and what they're trying to do. Our goal and our concern is that there needs to be guidelines set and there needs to be structure in place for the Rangers. Every law enforcement officer in the state of Arizona goes through a rigorous training maintained every year annually through Arizona Peace Officer Standards. This is not the same for Arizona Rangers, so there needs to be something put in place for this to be mandated through the state in some fashion. Currently, there's nothing in existence, so we are asking for that to be put in place. There needs to be guidelines, rules, I don't know how else to put it. So we are asking you to please take that into consideration today. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions for the sheriff? Seeing none. By the way, he's the sheriff of my hometown county. So he has a special place in my heart. Sheriff Rhodes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you very much for having us here today. David Rhodes, Yavapai County Sheriff, representing myself. We are in support, or I am in support of Senate Bill 1071. We absolutely support the men and the women of the Arizona Rangers. But this bill is not about the work that they do. It's not about their dedication or commitment. This bill is about accountability and transparency, of which currently there is very little. And I'm going to describe my personal experience dealing with the leadership of the state leadership of the Arizona Rangers. Yavapai County Sheriff's Office does not utilize the Arizona Rangers because we do not have background information on its membership, and we do not have training records on its membership. I met with the statewide leadership twice over 2 years ago. Both times I told them I would love to use the Arizona Rangers. You have to show me your background information so I know that we are not putting sex offenders out there, convicted felons, or other people that should not be looking like a quasi law enforcement outfit. They shouldn't have a badge and a gun on, and they should not be confusing the public. And I also want to know that they are actually trained, know how to use their firearms, know what to do when they're in a public event, and they actually hear gunshots going off, that they're trained and they know exactly how to respond to that situation. I was promised by the state leadership of the Arizona Rangers twice that I would receive that information. I was ignored. I was never given that information. We want to use the Arizona Rangers. We tried to work this out at the lowest level possible, and it did not happen. So we're asking now for the legislature to impart accountability and transparency on this organization so that they can be used to the fullest extent of their capabilities. Thank you.
Wow. That was perfect. Great timing. Any questions for the sheriff? Seeing none.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
David Klaus.
Good morning, or good afternoon. I'm David Klaus, Sheriff of Navajo County and current president of the Arizona Sheriff's Association. I stand here today on behalf of the association and myself as Sheriff of Navajo County in support of this bill. I echo the words of my fellow sheriffs. This is not about the work that the Rangers do, the support. It's about accountability and transparency within, so the public has complete faith and trust in whoever is working these special events. Just to continue on the same line, is we've had a couple people that have applied for our posses, and I speak not only of my county, but there's other sheriffs around the state that have applications that come in. We run posses, we run these volunteer groups that are armed and unarmed. We've had some that get flushed in the background, and because they're not a good fit, whether it's their psych evaluation, their criminal history, or just their ability to work with the public. They get flushed out in our background, and then next thing you know, they're working at a special event wearing an Arizona Ranger outfit or an Arizona Ranger uniform, which puts a lot of concern to us because we communicate, whether it be another municipality within our county saying this is not a good fit for a volunteer, but to have them come in there and then we have no ways to flush those out from working for another organization or volunteering. So with that, we have a lot of concern with their current vetting and background processes, and there's no way that the public can see this or they can work with anybody to get these removed. So with that, I stand for any questions.
Members, any questions? Hearing none? Thank you, sir.
All right,
Thank you,
thank you.
Sheriff. Is that it?
No one else?
No one else? You want to come up and, we hear a lot of things about how they're going to do, how they want to make changes and whatnot. Are you willing to, they said that you were agreed to all these things, so.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'm open to an amendment, but the amendment has to address three things: accountability, transparency, and indemnification, which is not something that's been talked about. There's this question, this perception that's been built into the minds of the public. Uniform, badge, and gun means that an individual is going to run to the fire, not away from it.
Yes.
And I have utmost respect for the rank and file rangers. The issue I have is with leadership. Now, you and I met over the interim with leadership, and we got no cooperation whatsoever.
None.
None of what was promised was delivered. So does this sound like drastic action? As a matter of fact, it is. But yes, I'm open to an amendment that resolves transparency, accountability, and indemnification.
Outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
As am I. Thank you. And yes, we worked on this for several months with, basically, it took us a long time to get them to come in, and then when they did come in, they promised solutions but gave me none until this week. That's months went by. But I did get them this week. Members, any questions for the senator? Hearing none, any discussion? Seeing none, let's move the bill.
Mr. Chair, I move SB 1071 with the due pass recommendation.
There's no amendments. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Senator Alston?
Aye.
Senator Gabaldon?
No.
Senator Gowen? Senator Sears?
No. I would like to explain my vote.
Please,
Uh,
please, sir.
I appreciate the work of the Rangers, and I've heard that this doesn't actually stop the work of what the Rangers do, but from how I'm reading this and understanding this, we've kind of talked about the badge, we've talked about the uniform, and to strip the Rangers in any way, I think is would be a detriment to all the work that they do and who they serve, and especially in those vulnerable things and the people who make a drastic impact to our economy when it comes to nonprofits. And I always already brought forward, in time of grief, it's so important that you provide what you do for people and their loved ones. So with that, I say no to this.
Senator Shaw?
Yeah, real briefly, Mr. Chair, if I may. I think he nodded his head. Yeah, he did. We're at the final committee deadline. The way to keep this thing alive and keep these conversations going is to vote yes. If there are issues that are here still exist next week, during crossover week, it'll either end up lifeless like many other bills. It'll end up lifeless, probably a good thing, or it'll continue on. So with that, I vote aye.
Senator Gowen?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I feel the same way he does, except with a no vote. But I do believe you said you were going to move some stuff, and I believe they said they were too, and I would hold them all to that. I do believe there needs to be reform, and I hear you, and I'm waiting for that, and I'll see what that looks like when it comes up there. So. That's what I have.
Senator Farnsworth?
Aye.
Senator Payne?
Aye.
4 ayes, 3 noes, 0 not voting.
by your vote of 4 ayes, 3 noes, 0 not voting, you've given SB 1071 a do pass recommendation. Look forward to the amendment.
Thank you, member.
Thank you, Senator Fincham.